When she calls, I'm back in a cage, and she pokes at me with a stick to see if I'm listening, if I'm getting her pain. Every time she calls, she tells me of her pain. She goes back to the places where it came from, full of the anger and hatred of those who did it to her, of all that she has lost because of it. Her whole life she has lost until she found him. And she wants me to feel her pain. She believes she will overcome her pain. She will move on. So far it's been 92 years, but maybe still. The other day she called and accused me of using her as material for inappropriate reasons. Why had I filmed her? What was I going to use that for? And she was right. I am gathering data, getting first-hand primary source data. I find her fascinating in a mentally ill kind of way. So while she's standing outside my cage, poking at me with a stick, I'm observing her and staying quiet, as I've done for 61 years. I'm gathering data on her that I may well use in my work. She will be an exhibit in my exhibition. For someone who has been so deprived, from whom so much was taken, and has experienced so much abuse, I am always interested that she has a strong desire to convert everything to her own metric. Everything I tell her she inhabits, she converts to her own number system. She translates into her own language of one. It always comes back to her. When she needs to feel larger or smaller, or just to feel, she can throw me up against the wall of my cage. She will call and ask me, "What's new? What have you been doing?" And I know not to give her any material that might be dear to me, that might actually mean something to me. But sometimes I forget. I have made that mistake, and it is very painful, and as I put down the phone, I resolve never to open up that gate again. But when she asks me, "How are you?" I give her maybe just a phrase, just one phrase. "I've had a cold. I've been busy." And I can hear her consider my words for a second and use me as a reference point for one instant, and then immediately turn the mirror toward herself. I provide her with an opening to speak, with an ear that will listen to her. She demands that I listen to her. Ultimately, she will wander back to chronicling her ancient pain, and I am taking notes. She wants more of me than I am. I am not as big a person as she thinks I am. But in her own perceived smallness, she sees me as a giant, someone who can write with ease, who can learn with ease, who makes art with ease, who married into a family with ease. Indeed, she has no idea of how I have lived. Only I, not my brothers, am for her a ripe and fertile field, where she can trudge up and down and either plant seed to start a new crop of trauma, or dig the potatoes that are brown throughout and rotten, and if you eat them, will kill you for sure. She does not know who I am. She does not know how much of her despair I have taken in and digested. Starting when she breastfed me, her milk was full of pain, blindness, and rage, and so I was nourished by this wounded animal who gave me the only thing she had. Once we detached, I was left to wonder why I was always so sad, so empty and alone. Why afternoons turning into evenings scared me to death. Why I could excel at things only when directed and pushed. On my own, books remained closed and unintelligible. Movies were out of reach, and common knowledge was unfamiliar to me. Things learned in passing or in the everyday conversation of family and friends were not part of my language. I was brought up in the very real memory of her own abusive past. And although a whole new world was just outside my door, I didn't know how to leave the house to be in it. I was lost and wounded as she was. I didn't have the tools to invent a new reality for myself. Instead of encouraging me to look for answers in the world that was just outside our door, she kept me pushed down into the recesses she had inhabited. Many of the things I am come from this. The craziness and the games I play. Am I good? Am I good enough? Should I speak? No, I won't speak. Am I too loud? Am I too quiet? All these complicated postures of being come from the way I protected myself from her. And I remain as inscrutable as possible.